On April 25th, 2024, Mercury is now going to be stationed direct and moving forward in the fiery sign of Aries. Now, Aries is this independent warrior-like energy. It wants to initiate. Mercury rules all types of communication and travel, and now that it's moving forward, it's going to be traversing the same area of your life that the eclipse activated and planted new seeds for these major beginnings. So the way a retrograde works is Mercury goes over an area of your life and it brings attention to it. And in this case, it went across sun, who you are, your ego, your identity, your moon, your intuition, your feelings, your subconscious patterns. And then it was conjunct your Chiron, your personal identity wound, because this is all in the sign of Aries. Then when it stationed retrograde, it went back over it saying, we need to focus on this in your life. And then the third time is when it will now move forward. As it stations direct, it's now going to give you this opportunity to truly look back and say, have I adjusted everything? Have I corrected? Have I aligned everything? Because with the eclipse here, it's a major area of your life that it wants to bring attention to. The eclipses activate an area that we need to have major seeds planted for major growth that we're uncomfortable with. And so it eclipses people, places, and things in and out of our life. And so as it went across your Chiron, it was identifying, okay, these are some areas of my life that I need to pay attention to, that I need to heal, I need to work through. So moving forward, you can now include these opportunities of where do I need to initiate leadership? How do I start these new things that are in my life? How do I make them a part of my daily life? Remember that this is opposite of Libra, which is reminding you that you have to include and incorporate having these healthy boundaries. The retrograde really gave everyone a time to pause, a time to slow down, and a time to shift the way that you are communicating. What are your wants, your needs, your desires? It's all in the sign of Aries. And going back and saying, how can I find the gift in the lessons that I'm learning, and not just saying, woe is me, this is my identity wound, and this is where I need to move forward. No, what are the lessons that I've learned? And so now I can move forward with greater ease. The purpose of this retrograde is for really to push you past your comfort zone in order to show you that you are resilient. You can grow and you can transform from what you're going through. It's like grow through what you go through, or go through what you grow. No, it's the other one, Jake, sorry. And so this retrograde wants you to get organized. It wants you to align yourself, because then we're going to have this 3-month free period of May, June, and July, where you're going to be able to, the seeds that are planted, really allow them to grow, because the sun is moving into the sign of Taurus. And so it's about planting the seeds in fertile soil in order to grow. So use these next 2 weeks with Mercury in the post-shadow phase to clear up any loose ends or final details that you have been putting off, and to look at how can you use what you've learned in order to make your life easier and more in line with your personal evolution and for transformation for your best and highest good. Hi, I'm Patricia Tate, and this is your Mercury direct in Aries 2024 astrological forecast. To get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. Now let's dive in. So for Aries Sun and Aries Rising, this is occurring in your first house of self. Remember that the first house, it represents you being seen. It's your outlook on life. It's the sun is your appearance, your power, it's your personality. I like to refer to it as your business card, your website. It's how people are seeing you with your vitality, your strengths. It's kind of like the elevator eyes, looking you up and down and saying, this is who is what is being presented to me. Now, Mercury also rules over your third house of communication with siblings, cousins, neighbors, short distance travel, and people that you communicate and talk with on a daily basis. Mercury also rules over your sixth house that represents your daily habits. It's who do I go and seek advice and help from, like getting a mentor, or my daily habits as in how do I take care of myself with vitamins or supplements, or going to see see a chiropractor or getting a massage or getting advice from friends or aunts or uncles. The 6th house is, how do I give myself self-care? And it's also alternative health, and it's also your relationship with your coworkers. So we're taking into account all of these areas of your life that, first off, Mercury went across your Chiron and your wound that has to do with some of these topics of the wound to your identity. And it went across your sun, which was you, and your moon, which had to do with your subconscious or habits and what has created you. Now that Mercury is going, it's already gone back over it, and it's brought the attention of, I need to heal from this, or what is the gift from the healing from this message? Now it's again in the sky, combining its energy with the North Node. This is where I have to go. This is where I have to move forward. I have to be focused on me. I have to initiate the change. It opposes the South Node in Libra, in partnership. The South Node in the 7th house is contractual agreements, it's love, it's negotiations. The 7th house is I call it the 1+1 house. So it's you with a business partner, you with best friends, you with a significant other, you with clients. And where have you given of yourself to the detriment of yourself? And how are you now saying, I'm going to communicate better about me, my ego, where I want to find happiness and health and strength and habits of who I'm growing, changing, and evolving into. The 1st house is you being seen and changing and shifting your identity and wanting to share that with others and standing in your own in order to manifest this energy. The eclipse literally eclipsed people, places, and things, like some things that were truly about yourself. This could be eclipsing bad habits. This could be eclipsing, literally it's everything about your body, your self-expression, your power, and it's bringing you in alignment. It lessens the channels that you have access in your life and narrows them down so that you can be laser focused of, this is what I was meant to do. Now I feel empowered, and now I feel realigned. So with the eclipse and the Mercury now saying, this is it, move forward, this is how you're going to communicate it, it's communicating clearly what your intentions are of how you want to be known. And this could be, I want to be known as a healer. I no longer want to be known as that. I want to be seen or identified as this. This is you coming into how you want to be identified as and presenting this to other people. And so with all this, you're wrapping up the story and planting the seeds that the eclipses have so graciously pushed you towards. And with this, the sun is now in the sign of Taurus, and it's planting the seeds in the fertile earth soil of, I need to ground this into 2nd house themes that are my self-esteem and cash, property, resources, like all that comes with it. But this is truly about you, your identity, and your self-esteem. So Aries, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer new moon and full moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Taurus Sun and Taurus Rising, you have Mercury conjunct the North Node in your 12th house. So the 12th house themes include being isolated, being pulled in. This is about shamanic healing or deep traumas, or it's the house of hospitalization or rehab or prison. The 12th house represents anything that has to do with affliction and the subconscious. And the 12th house is about dreams, psychic ability, intuition. It's about angels and guides. It's about receiving messages from the spiritual realm. It can be the Akashic records. It can be meditation. It could be anything that has to do with your intuition and the spiritual realm. And so Mercury and the North Node, we're bringing your attention to these topics of where do you need to free yourself from? What do you need to release yourself from? Bringing your attention to other dimensions about doing the internal healing in order for you to connect with your higher power, your spirit, your divine, whatever you want to call it. So Mercury went through this house of self-sabotage and hidden enemies. And it was truly saying, how do I identify the core wound of, like, is it generational, like great grandparent to grandparent to parent to you? Is it cellular memory? Or is it brought in from like generational, like some people might say like a generational curse or generational trauma? And so this had you really focused on, how do I overcome me being my own worst enemy and self-sabotage at this? How can I tap into my gifts, my traits, my talents, like using the best of the difficult situations, always looking at like, what is the gift that can come from this? Mercury went across your sun, and this is your identity and your ego. It went across your moon, which was your memories and your habits, your patterns that you have created or that have been passed down to you, and then the core wound. And so this post shadow is saying, I need to clear some of these things up. Mercury rules your second house of your self-worth, your cash, your property, your resources, but it's how do you feel about yourself, your skill set, your opinions, your talents, your salary, your income, what you bring to the world, and what you need to feel safe and secure in order to operate effectively. Mercury also rules over your fifth house of where do you take risks, love, children, tapping into the creative side, your art, your music. This could be gambling, or love affairs. The fifth house is what brings joy and pleasure to me, and wanting to focus on romance and hobbies and wanting to bring joy and pleasure. How do I communicate? How do I align with my higher self? What do I have what do I have that I can use? You have your higher spirit, you have angels, you have guides, you have your connection to your dreams, anything that has to do with dreams, like past life regressions, Akashic records, meditation, like literally anything that has to do with the dream realm is what you have available to you. And it's you understanding some things and saying, I'm resilient. I can grow, change, and evolve from everything that's going on with me right now. The eclipse literally eclipsed people, places, and things from your life, and it might eclipse you being kept in one place and saying, I've done the deep journey. I've done the transcendence. I have worked on myself. I've dealt with my shadow. I'm now ready to move forward. I'm ready to come out. Now, the seeds that are being planted, that were planted with the April 8th eclipse, it's healing some things, going through some things, bringing shock and surprise that go along with it. Now the seeds are going to be planted into fertile soil that has to do with you and your identity. As the sun is now in the sign of Taurus, it takes the seeds that were planted and puts them, Taurus, into the ground, into the earth, which is your first house of self, your identity, your being seen, your outlook, your appearance, your personality. It's how other people are going to see you. They see you as having been there, done that, experiencing it, growing through it, changing and evolving and being resilient because of everything that's going on, and now planting these seeds that say, here I am. And then as we move, so we have this 2-week window, and then as we move forward, we have May, June, and July that we can really reap the rewards of everything that's been going on. So take advantage of this next 2 weeks post-shadow period and clear up any of the other details, the residual that you have to, in order for you to experience this personal evolution and transformation of what you cannot share with others because it's internal, for your best and highest good. All right, so Taurus, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays where I offer full moon and new moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com, and to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Gemini Sun and Gemini Rising, Mercury is conjunct the North Node and now moving direct in your 11th house. This is really important because Mercury is your chart ruler. Mercury rules over 2 areas of your life, so it's really important for you to identify it's me. It is me being seen. It's my first house of my outlook on life, my appearance, my power, my strength, my habits. Mercury also rules over your 4th house of your home, your foundation, your past, your traditions, your real estate, people that feel like home for you. It's literally the foundation of which you build your life upon. So Mercury in your 11th house has been bringing these topics into what are your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, your goals. Who do you align with in order to manifest these things? Mercury first came in conjunction with your sun, which was your soul's expression, your identity, your ego, and then with the moon, which was the moon is your subconscious patterns, your habits, it's your memory. And then it was with Chiron, your wound, in the sign of Aries, the identity wound of where has my identity that brings in topics that have to do with home and family and personal, your power, your self-expression, not been valued. So going over your identity wound of these were my hopes, my wishes, my dreams, my goals, and you didn't believe in me. These could be significant others. These could be family members. This could be in joking or in passing, but you really internalized it. And so this could be groups that you were part of and not being valued because you were in the wrong place with the wrong people. This is going to align you with your true tribe. And so Mercury went across it, brought it to your attention, offered you opportunities for healing. And now with the eclipse, it's saying, I'm going to eclipse those people, places, and things, those events out of your life. It's time to move forward. It's time to plant these seeds and have less choices. So now with the sun in the 12th house, it's taking the seeds that were planted during the eclipse and saying, I'm ready to move forward. I have 2 weeks during this post-shadow period that I can clear up any loose ends or final details because the seeds are planted in the earth, in the ground, in my subconscious, because it's your 12th house. The 12th house represents your personal unconscious. It's about taking the deep journeys. It's about you transcending and doing the inner healing in order for you to connect with your higher power, your spirit guide, your whatever you call your divine, and angels and guides and past loved ones. It's you being able to connect to otherworldly things in order for you to move forward with what you have, what the eclipse is bringing to you, the gifts, the opportunities, the seeds that are planted, you having these healthy boundaries of following what you are supposed to be doing. You were reviewing, you were rethinking, you were revisiting, and now you're saying, I have had this opportunity, I can now recover, and I can rejuvenate, and I can rearrange, and I'm going to have resilience. I'm going to focus on my goals for my career, my job, my legacy of things that I want to do in my life. So Gemini, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer new moon and full moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Cancer Sun and Cancer Rising, I love that this eclipse was occurring in your 10th house, and I love that Mercury had you going back over topics in your 10th house. So Mercury is now conjunct the North Node. The North Node is the direction in which you're supposed to be moving towards, leaving behind topics of 4th house, home, family, and always conceding to everybody else that has been in your life, and always putting yourself on the back burner. So knowing that, we know that Mercury rules over your 12th house. house, your intuition, your psychic ability. Being isolated, it's your ancestors. It is the Akashic records. It is your psychic abilities that include anything with tapping into the spiritual realm that could, like past life regressions, or anything that connects you to anything that brings you closer to your higher power and healing, doing the inner healing and the connection to the divine. Now, Mercury also rules over your third house of communication. How do you communicate this on a daily basis? Who do you communicate this with? So we know that the communication is going to be between family and friends and siblings and cousins. And the third house also represents who you talk and exchange ideas with on a daily basis. So we know that Mercury started off and it went across it was conjunct the North Node saying, hey, focus on you being in the outside world. The 10th house is your ambitions, your goals, your public life, being seen. Then Mercury came across your sun, which is your soul's expression. It's your identity. It's your ego. Then the moon, which has to do with your intuition, your subjective feelings, your habits and your patterns, and it's literally tapping into your intuition and focusing on I energy, the Aries energy. Then Mercury became conjunct or met up in the sky with Chiron, your personal wound that had to do with all of these topics, and saying, now is the time to peel back the bandage and say, where have I been wounded? What did I have to do with this? And can I heal from this and turn this into a gift, an opportunity, or a lesson that I have learned? And it's now about readjusting. This retrograde really wants you to realign with your higher self, because there's this 2-week window period where you're going to say, I have 2 weeks because the eclipse has shown me, it's illuminated and cut out all the other clutter that was going on in my life and said, this is what's most important. This is what you're supposed to be focusing on. And the seeds have been planted. The sun moves into the sign of Taurus of, these are my hopes, my wishes, my dreams, my goals. And it's fertilizing the soil. Taurus is earth, and it's planting the seeds and saying, how can I now move forward with this? Because this is your personal evolution. This is your transformation for your best and your highest good. So you've got this 2-week period before, tie up any loose ends, because May, June, and July, that's when things are now going to pick up. So Cancer, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer new moon and full moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Leo Sun and Leo Rising, you have Mercury conjunct the North Node in your 9th house. So the North Node remembers the direction in which you're supposed to be going towards, moving towards. I have to do this. I'm hungry for it. And so this is higher education, learning, studying, connecting with foreign people, places, and things, cross-cultural connections with people, publishing. It's also taking a class, or it's about adventure, and it can be legal matters. The 9th house is you connected with others that are out there in the world, big, broad, and far away. Now, it's what am I leaving behind? The South Node in Libra, always conceding to do what everybody else wants you to do. Mercury rules over your 11th house of your personal dreams, your goals, your hopes, your wishes, organizations that you belong to, and who do you align yourself with in order to move forward with these connections that you're wanting to make for your personal goals. It's like really, what clubs or organizations or who do I align with in order to move forward with really what do I want to do? How do I want to transcend? How do I want to get there and do that? Mercury also rules over your 2nd house. Your 2nd house is your personal self-worth, what you need to feel secure, your money, your cash, your property, your resources, your skill set, your values, your opinions, your talents. All of this has been brought into the mix with the eclipse. Mercury went across your North Node saying, you have to focus on this, Leo. Then it went across your Sun. This is your ego, your identity, your soul's expression, saying, it's all about you. Focus on this. Then it went across your moon. The moon was your feelings, your memory, going back over. When did I give up my power? When did I not exert myself appropriately? How do I bring myself into better alignment? Then when it connected with Chiron, it was bringing up all of these topics all at one time, saying, where have I been wounded? Where do I need to go back and heal that wound? Either understanding where the wound came from somebody else that you had nothing to do with, or where you've allowed certain things and now you need to have these healthier boundaries so you don't repeat the same patterns. In order for you to say, I need to communicate better that this is what I want to do. And this has actually been a gift in disguise. And so I am resilient. These are things that I want to do. The eclipse people, places, and things out of your life. It literally said this part of your life is going to be ending. These people are gone, and this is what you're going to be doing. And so now you're planting the seeds of what do you want to do for career, job, legacy. The sun moving into Taurus. The sun, again, is your ego, your identity, planting the seeds into Taurus earth at the top of your chart for your career, your life path, your legacy, your reputation, your professional life. You saying, I'm ready to start planting these seeds. I'm ready to move forward with these things in my life. I am ready to have this personal evolution and this transformation because I'm resilient and I got this. I want to rearrange things. I want to rejuvenate, and I feel like these next 2 weeks is an opportunity to restore things to your new normal. And then you're going to have May, June, and July to experience this beautiful growth. So Leo, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer new moon and full moon astrology consultations. For a private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Virgo Sun and Virgo Rising, Mercury is conjunct your North Node in your 8th house. The 8th house for you represents the house of deep psychological bonding. It's where we have these connections with other people on a deep, intimate level. These can be family members that we have these major shared expressions. This can be business partners. This can be significant others. This can also be exes or anybody that you feel like you have this deep it's the house of deep bonding and shared resources. So think alimony, child support, debt, taxes. It's where you desire to have these deep connections. It's also the house of taboo topics where you just don't want to discuss some of the things that are going on in there. It's kind of like this private house. And so the North Node is stretching you, saying, this is the direction I need you to be focused on. It's important because Mercury is your chart ruler. It has everything to do with you, your first house, yourself, your identity, your business card, your website, you being seen, your strengths, your habits, your happiness, your self-expression, your demeanor. And Mercury also rules over your 10th house of your job, your career, your legacy, your public life, your reputation. So knowing that things done in private that are shared with other people, Mercury going across it truly affects both of those areas of your life. So Mercury, when it started this journey, it went across your sun, which is your identity, your soul, your ego, you, and your leadership abilities, you being seen as an authority figure. And then it came in conjunction with your moon. This was about your memories, your feelings, your intuition, and you saying, I'm feeling my feels with all of this. When it came in contact with Chiron, it came into conjunction with Chiron. So it went across this house where you have these deep connections with other people, and trauma could be involved, or pain could definitely be involved, because this is the house of death. It's the house of birth, death, and rebirth, and the opportunity for transformation that comes from it. And so Chiron is saying, I want you to go back into your past. I want you to identify, where were you wounded? How were you wounded? What about your identity, your self-expression, you being seen, your reputation? Where has that been wounded in your life? And then it went back over it and said, it's time for you to heal this chapter. It's time for you to restructure, realign, and recover from some of this. Truly recreating these moments in your past. And this could have been like many moments all at the same time from different chapters of your life. So then the eclipse then occurred, and the eclipse said, you need to work on this. And you need to turn this pain into an opportunity to rejoice, an opportunity to restore yourself back to whole, to rejuvenate and to experience resilience, because you are more than those experiences. The 8th house is it's a house of deep and psychological, intimate connections, whether it's financial, emotional, spiritual, but or it could be sexual in nature. It's the house of where we don't always talk about things. And so as it then went back across Chiron, it said, it's time to heal. It's time to move forward with this. And now moving direct, it's back to the square one, saying the North Node, hey, this is what you can do. This is where you can go. Now we have this clean slate with a lot of these things cleared and the clutter removed from your life. And now you being seen as your reputation or these ambitions, or being seen as an authority figure. Your first house and your 10th house can now work together with a purpose and a goal, because the seeds that were planted with the sun moving into the sign of Taurus is an earth sign, and the sun is your identity. And it's saying, I'm ready to move past this. I have 2 weeks of this post-retrograde period where I can clear up anything else in order to make my life easier, because I'm planting the seeds in my 9th house of cross-cultural experiences, or wanting to travel, or it's taking a class or taking a workshop or publishing or legal matters. It's you connected to the spiritual realm, and you saying, I want to connect with other people that are like-minded like you are. And it's planting the seeds and saying, I'm ready to transform this area of my life. So May, June, and July will be these rapid growth time periods of your life to move forward with, for your personal evolution and transformation for your best and highest good. So Virgo, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer new moon and full moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Libra Sun and Libra Rising, Mercury conjunct the North Node is occurring in your 7th house. The 7th house is love, contractual agreements. It is you with somebody else. This can be with a best friend, a significant other, a client, a partner. It's the 7th house is negotiations, cooperations. It's contractual agreements that you have with other people. I'm going to add in here that it's also open enemies and exes, because Mercury retrograde has had you going back and revisiting some of these topics. Now, Mercury rules over your 9th house of foreign people, places, and things, publishing, legal matters, taking a class, taking a workshop, teaching a class, teaching a workshop, wanting to travel, wanting to gather information. Now, Mercury also rules over your 12th house. The 12th house for you represents your personal unconscious. It's where we go to sit and tap into our intuition and our dreams. It's also self-sabotage, and it's also the house of affliction. And so this can be hospitalization or rehabilitation or institutions or prisons. And I'm also going to throw in the positive that can come from this. It's our angels, it's our guides, it is the Akashic records, it's dreams, it is you tapping into the spiritual realm. And so Mercury, stationing retrograde, went across your North Node, really bringing attention to you and your connections that you have with other people, needing to put the attention on you, like needing to be the warrior of your own story. Mercury, when it was conjunct the sun here, and the sun represented your identity, your leadership ability, your ego, your path, your spirit of this is what you have to do. Aries, warrior energy with moving forward with initiating things in topics of this house. Now then it went across your moon. This is your memory, your habits, your patterns, and identifying where have I been wounded with these topics? Where have I been my own worst enemy? Where have people wounded me? Whether it was their fault, and then now I can identify that. When Mercury went across Chiron, Chiron really opened up the whole, I have been wounded when in partnership. I have been wounded with clients. I've been wounded, open enemies, exes, which hurt. And so this is an opportunity for you to say, all right, I need to recover. I need to rethink. I need to revisit. I need to renegotiate some of these contracts. They're just not healthy for me. I need to look at, and rehabilitate my heart, my soul. The 12th house represents an opportunity to cut the karmic ties and say, I'm going to use the gifts that are from these lessons. Well, I'm going to look at these lessons and then identify the gifts, and I'm going to use them. The 12th house can be the house of, I've done the inner healing, so therefore I can transcend. I can tap into my higher power, spirit, divine, whatever you call it. The 12th house is the opportunity where I connect to my angels, my guides, my ancestors, in order to understand and have a connection to transcend and take these deep journeys. It's about healing. And so now that Mercury is now moving direct, this is the third movement. It always goes over an area, retrograde to bring your attention to fix it, and then one last clean sweep of, do you see it now? So now that we're moving forward, we have this 2-week post-shadow period where you have to clear up any loose ends or details that you've been putting off. Do you need healthier boundaries with clients? Do you need better contracts? Do you need, what are you working on in order to restructure this area of your life? How do you repair some of these things? How can you now be resilient and revive your energy? The eclipse eclipsed many people, places, and things, like these opportunities that you thought that were here out of your life and brought new in. And as the eclipse was bringing in new and eclipsing the out, it's an opportunity to plant seeds, major seeds for growth. And so the seeds that you planted for partnership, significant other, clients, one-on-one, and it could be all of these topics all at one time, is now being seeded by the sun moving into the sign of Taurus in your 8th house, and saying, the sun, again, your identity, your soul expression, saying, let's plant this into earth so this can grow, this can change, this can evolve, this can manifest. I need to get rid of what no longer serves me in order to plant the seeds that can grow. So I have this personal evolution and transformation for my best and highest good. So Libra, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer new moon and full moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Scorpio Sun and Scorpio Rising, the North Node conjunct Mercury is in your 6th house. The 6th house is, how do I be of service to myself? How do I take care of my mental health, physical health, spiritual health? It's vitamins, it's well-being, it's doctors and chiropractors, it's doing yoga. It is what you need to take care of you for your best and highest good. The 6th house is nutrition and diet and healthcare, self-care. It's who do I talk to and who do I reach out that can give me guidance and advice and it's what I do on a daily basis. And is that taking time to meditate, getting enough rest, getting the right food, taking my dog for a walk? Like, what is it? Now, Mercury rules over your 8th house of who do you share resources with and deep psychological connections that you have with others. This can be with family members. This can be with business partners, significant others. And I'm also going to throw in their exes. Mercury also rules over your 11th house of your hopes and your wishes, your dreams, your goals, your organizations of what you belong to in order to manifest what you want. It's your connection to kindred spirits or your peers or clubs and organizations. So we bring these topics into your 6th house with the theme of you. The Mercury went across your sun, which had to do with your identity, your soul expression, your leadership ability of what do you need to change, your path, your spirit, and saying, I need to make this a priority. I need to make my health and my daily habits a priority. Then it went across your moon, your feelings, your intuition, these habits, these patterns that you need to release and let go of in order to create new. Then Mercury came into conjunction with Chiron. Chiron is the wound, saying, where have I been wounded before from others who, these could be others that you share these resources with. It could be growing up as a child and people not valuing your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, your goals, or like shooting them down or laughing about them. It could be a coach, it could be a teacher, it could be a business partner, a significant other. These are people in your life who did not value your opinions, your thoughts, your ideas, and you being wounded. And this, and Mercury going across this brought up many different, it wasn't just like one era of your life. When there's an eclipse in an area, it says, let's target this and let's magnify it and let's do major growth all at one time. It's restructuring, offering you this opportunity to revisit all at one fell swoop. And so Mercury opening up the bandage and saying, hey, my eye wounds, all about me, where I have been hurt or pausing me to push past my comfort zone in the way that I'm communicating and understanding, was this my fault? Did I not have healthy enough boundaries? If it wasn't my fault because I was too young, I didn't know any better, how do I forgive myself? How do I move forward from this? How do I align with my higher self? How do I heal? And how do I look at this as the gift that the lesson is? How do I say that I have been, like, I'm releasing from these bonds that have been holding me back? And so now Mercury conjunct the North Node is saying, look, over the next 2 weeks with this Mercury post shadow, you need to clear up the loose ends. You need to get rid of all the, finish with the details that you've been putting off. Make your life easier. Put things in order for your life that you can have your own personal evolution, your own transformation for your best and highest good. The eclipse planted major seeds in this area in wanting you to get rid of a lot of the clutter and say, this is what I need to focus on. The seeds now, the sun in the sign of Taurus is now taking the seeds and saying, I'm going to plant them into earth and we are going to allow them to grow, change, evolve for my personal evolution in order for me to transform for my best and highest good, because it's time for me to rejuvenate. It's time for me to restore my mental, physical, spiritual health and well-being for my best and highest good, because I am resilient. So Scorpio, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer new moon or full moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Sagittarius Sun and Sagittarius Rising, Mercury conjunct the North Node is in your 5th house. Now the 5th house for you is about love or children. It's about gambling and taking risks. It's where we want to initiate things, and this could be about children, tapping into our creative side with art or music. The 5th house is about investments in recreation and fun and pleasure. Mercury rules over your 7th house. The 7th house is your it's your 1+1 house. You with somebody else, you with a business partner, you with a significant other, with a client. I'm going to bring in open enemies and exes. It's contractual agreements. It's negotiation. Mercury also rules over your 10th house of your career, your job, your legacy, your reputation. The 10th house is literally at the top of your chart about what do I want to achieve, my professional life. It's boss and honors and awards and things that I want to see and what I want to do. And so Mercury stationing retrograde with your North Node first started off as I need to focus on me things. It's in trine to your 1st house of self, really bringing into your identity of fire and passion and drive of I have to put more fun, joy, and pleasure in my life. Now, Mercury went across your sun. As it did, it really lit up your identity, your soul's expression, your leadership skills of bringing into question, are you initiating everywhere that you can, or are you conceding to other people? That would be Libra, letting go or finding a balance between your South Node and your North Node. Then the North Node, Mercury, then went across your moon, which is your intuition, your memory, habits, and patterns. Now, the eclipse happening here on April 8th said, I need to break a lot of these habits and patterns. I need to start with a clean slate. I need to have this brand new, fresh beginning. And a new moon with the solar eclipse is a new moon on steroids. It's like, it's a realignment of yourself. And so the North Node, I have to move in this direction. You're going to have this 2-week time period where Mercury is post shadow, that you need to tie up any of these loose ends and in order to make your life easier as you move forward, because the seeds are now planted. We have the sun in the sign of Taurus. Taurus is an earth sign. It's taking the area of the eclipses of saying, I need to take this leap of faith. I need to be focused on me things that have to do with bringing joy, pleasure, children, creativity. I need to make sure that this becomes a daily habit. I need to make it happen. And so then we're going to have this post-shadow period, and then May, June, and July will be free from inner planets being retrograde, and it'll be about growth and restoring yourself to your new healthy beginnings of where I want to go. And it's about you becoming resilient with everything that's gone on in your life. So Sagittarius, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer new moon and full moon astrology consultations. For a private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Capricorn Sun and Capricorn Rising, this eclipse was big. It was in your 4th house of home, and we had Mercury here. So now we have Mercury aligned with your North Node again. It started off its retrograde here. So if we go back to the beginning, the 4th house represents your home, your foundation, it's your genealogy. It's the people that have either that were family or felt like family, or those people that shaped you. It's your traditions, it's real estate, it's property. It's literally the foundation of which you build your home upon. And so Mercury, it started off its trek here, and it went across your sun, and it was identifying like you and your place with your home, your soul's expression, your leadership ability, your path, your spirit. And then it came into conjunction with your moon, and this was your memory, and this is habits and patterns of things that have transformed and evolved over your life up to this point. Then Mercury came into a conjunction with your Chiron. This is your personal wound. And so remember, Mercury rules over your ninth house of foreign people, places, and things, these cross-cultural expressions and these experiences that you want to have with other people, publishing, journaling, traveling, taking classes, taking workshops. Mercury also rules over your house of your daily habits and your house of self-care. And it has to do with mentors and guides. And this could be pets. It's your service to others, but I can't take care of others until I take care of myself. And so Mercury, conjunct your Chiron, then said, where have I been wounded? Where have I been wounded from other people that have been like these experiences with other people in your life, or on a daily habit that has wounded you mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally? And this could be through family members. This could be people of power. And so when Mercury went across that Chiron, then it opened up the wound. Then it went retrograde, saying, I need to deal with some of these. I need to heal. I need to rethink. I need to revisit. I need to recover. I need to restore my sense of self and my foundation so it is stable for me to rebuild upon. And what does that look like for you? I need to revitalize because I am resilient. So with this, the eclipse happened on April 8th, offering you literally eclipsing people, places, and things from your life and bringing them into your life. And now saying, all right, I have these new seeds planted. Eclipses, a solar eclipse brings new seeds that are like new moon intentions on steroids. And so with this new moon intentions that are on steroids, that the universe is saying, this is where you have to align yourself. The sun, now moving into the sign of Taurus, is saying, look, the sun, again, your identity, your soul, your expression is now saying, I'm going to take these seeds and I'm going to plant them in fertile soil in my fifth house of fun, joy, children, play, creativity, and where I'm willing now to take the risks in order to move forward. So you have this 2-week window where Mercury is in post shadow to say, I have to clear up any loose ends. I have to finish things that I've been putting off. I need to make myself more manageable. And in order for it to be more in line with my personal evolution and transformation for my best and highest good, in order to create a healthy foundation for myself. So Capricorn, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer new moon and full moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Aquarius Sun and Aquarius Rising, Mercury conjunct the North Node, now moving direct, is in your third house of communication. So the third house is your relationship with your siblings, your neighbors. It's short distance travel. It's how you gather information, how you disseminate information. It's who you talk to on a daily basis. Mercury rules over your 8th house of your shared resources with other people. This is the house of, this could be your business partner, your significant other, exes. It's also the house of deep psychological. So I would include family members if there were bigger things that went on. And since this is a retrograde and it's now moving forward, the 8th house I'm going to add in, it's about psychological healing and psychological, it's birth, death, rebirth, it's transformation. So it's not just money and resources, it's your personal resources. Mercury also rules over your 5th house of children or creativity or affairs. It's the house where we want to take risks. It's the house of love and pleasure and recreation and excitement. So Mercury went across in this third house, throwing in all these themes, your third house of how do I communicate? And Mercury then went across the sun. The sun was your ego, your soul's expression, your identity, and saying, I have to address some of these issues. It is very important. And then when it came into a conjunction with your moon, it was your memory, your habits, your patterns, and saying, wow, this has affected me more, like thoughts and ideas and of things from the past really coming up. And then Chiron, when it came into contact with Chiron, it went across it and it had you identify your soul's wounds, your anything that had to do with you growing up, anything that had to do with your identity. This could be siblings and cousins and parents and coaches and teachers, and how you express yourself creatively. And so as Mercury went across this wound, it really said, I have to identify, was I at fault here? No. If I was not at fault, then how do I heal from this? If I was, how do I now have healthier boundaries as I move forward? If this was not your fault, and look, as a young kid, we're learning these lessons. We have to say, how do I find the gift in the lesson? How do I say, I need to restore my heart, my soul. I need to recover. I need to repair this. I need to reflect on these lessons and say, I am resilient, and I want to recreate what it was in order for me to move forward. You're going to have this 2-week window where Mercury is out of retrograde, but it's in this post-shadow stage where you're going to want to tie up any loose ends or final details that you've been putting off in order for you to make your life easier, to bring yourself in line with your own personal evolution and transformation for your best and highest good. Because the eclipses literally eclipsed people, places, and things out of your life and into your life and planted these major seeds for your best and highest good. And so on April 8th, we had this eclipse. Mercury is there, and it's, how do I communicate? How do I move forward? How do I prove that I'm resilient? I need to plant the seeds. The seeds have been planted. The sun is now in the sign of Taurus, in your 4th house of your foundation, planting the seeds of creating this very stable, healthy foundation in order for you to build your life upon for your best and highest good. So Aquarius, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer new moon and full moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Pisces Sun and Pisces Rising, Mercury is moving forward now in your 2nd house, and it's conjunct your North Node. So the North Node, the direction in which you're supposed to be going towards, and the South Node, releasing yourself from your connections or your bonds that you have with other people. These can be deep psychological bonds that you have with other people. It can be family members, business connections. It can be partners, exes. The North Node is saying, I need you to focus on your self-worth, your cash, your property, your personal resources. What do you need in order to feel safe and secure? The 2nd house is about your salary, your income, your skill set. It's your values, your opinions. It's your self-esteem. It's your work ethic. Mercury ruling over your 4th house of your home, your family, your roots, your foundation, your traditions, people that feel like family. And Mercury also rules over your 7th house of partnership, business partnerships. I call the 7th house your 1+1 house. This is you with clients, you with best friends, significant others. The 7th house is also open enemies and exes. It's where we find love. It's where we have these contracts and promises of where we negotiate things in life. So we now have Mercury taking those topics in and saying, I'm going to go over some areas of your life to bring major attention to it because the eclipses are here. So Mercury first went across your sun. The sun is your identity, your soul expression, your leadership ability, your path, your spirit, that has to do with you, of where you want to move forward, your salary, your income, like all of those topics. Then Mercury went across your moon, had you revisiting your intuition, your memory, your life patterns, your habits. And then Mercury went across Chiron. And when it was in a conjunction with Chiron, it brought about feelings of my wound, my identity wound, of how do I repair these things? How do I rewrite my story? How do I rediscover what it means for me to feel safe and secure? Mercury going across Chiron had everything to do with people who didn't believe in you, people who didn't, and like this could have been way when you were younger. This could have been who you worked with. This could have been lovers, partners, business partners, coaches, teachers, anybody. And it was probably multiple things that you are now, that you have now had to readdress. The reason for the readdress is to now bring it up, uncover the wound. With the eclipse here, it's saying, look, all in one fell swoop, we're going to bring the attention to it because it's time. It's time for you to restore your life and to move past this, to heal, to reflect, to revive, to show that you can recover and that you are resilient. It's time to look at the lesson that is in the pain that you went through and say that I went through this and this is what I have discovered about myself. I am resilient. So now as Mercury is now moving forward, it's conjunct the North Node saying, leave this in the past. It's time for you to explore this personal evolution, this transformation of your best and highest good that has to do with your money, your resources, your highest good of your possessions, of surrounding yourself, of understanding what are my values, my talents, my opinions, and I couldn't have done it had I not learned this, and now I'm ready to release and let go of this. Now, the eclipses, the last one was April 8th, planted major seeds, and it was like literally eclipsing people, places, and things out of your life and bringing new in. And now, with the sun moving into the sign of Taurus, it takes the seeds, it plants them into fertile soil. Taurus is an earth sign. It's about growing things. And so now the seeds have been planted, and now you have to say, I'm ready to move on. With the sun in Taurus, I can grow. I can get rid of what no longer serves me. I can transform, I can evolve, and I can grow for my best and highest good and move forward because I'm restoring everything back to my new normal. All right, so Pisces, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer new moon and full moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe.